Good morning, students. Today we will continue the chapter Cat's Paradise. As I told you, this story shows the difference between an indoor cat and outdoor cats. Zola once rightly remarked, "The fate of animals is of far greater importance to me than the fear of appearing ridiculous." This story was told by the cat to his owner. Our hero cat was a 2-year-old Angora. The cat has been willed to the present owner when his aunt died. The cat did not realize how good he had it. He had his own private bedroom in the closet where he enjoyed a plush bed. The food was equally good, lots of fresh meat. Meanwhile, the cat had only one wish. He wanted out. He wanted to roam the rooftops. He was bored with being happy all day long. Besides, there were other cats on the rooftops playing in the sun. He wanted to join them. The main character doesn't realize how much he has and spends his days longing for more. After seeing those other cats, all our hero could do was to try to find ways to escape. The aunt very carefully kept all doors and windows closed. The cat kept watching for ways to escape. Then one day, someone forgot to push the kitchen window shut, and the cat escaped onto a small roof just beneath it. The escape thought the rooftops beautiful. There were delicious odors coming from the gutters, and the cat walked down them, paws in soft mud like walking over velvet. Now he do think he had enjoyed walking in that soft, squishy stuff. The problem with such adventure is that he would have to wash his feet afterward. No one would do it for him. He had have to wash all the mud off again. Then the agora almost lost his footing when three cats rolled down from the housetop and approached him, meowing frightfully. They saw that the new cat was frightened and told him the meowing was a joke, so he added his own voice. When our cat, who was way too fat, slipped and rolled along the roof, the other cats laughed at him. Then an older Tom, who was very friendly, offered to educate the newcomer. Our cat accepted eagerly. From here, we will continue the chapter. Take page number 23, paragraph number 7. Huh. The ease of life with our aunt was now far away. I drank from the gutters, and milk with sugar had never tasted so sweet. Everything struck me as good and beautiful. A cat passed by, a gorgeous cat, and simply the sight of her touched off in me a deep and unfamiliar emotion. Only in my dreams had I ever seen such an exquisite creature with so adorably supple a back. My three companions and I dashed forward to greet her, and I was actually slightly ahead of the others in offering my compliments to this ravishing creature when one of my comrades gave me a savage bite in the neck. I emitted a howl of pain. Bah, said the old Tom, dragging me away. You will see plenty more of those. So, here at the first, the Angora saw everything as good and beautiful. The gutter water tasted sweeter to him than milk and sugar. Well, let's just see how long that lasts. Then he saw a female cat, and the sight of her set off strong emotions in him. When he went to greet this exquisite creature, one of the other cats bit him on the neck, causing a howl of pain. The old Tom dragged him away and told him there would be plenty of females. Let's move to the next paragraph, paragraph number 8. After strolling for an hour or so, I developed a ferocious appetite. What do you eat up here on the rooftops? I asked my friend the Tom. Whatever you can find, he replied wisely. This reply perplexed me because, hunt as I might, I found nothing. Finally, however, I spotted a young workman preparing his lunch in an attic room. On the table, just under the window, was a lovely cutlet, appetizing red. That's the answer, I told myself in all innocence. When our fat cat started getting hungry, he asked the old Tom what they ate on the rooftops. Whatever you can find, replied the old Tom. The fat cat couldn't catch anything. He was probably slow because he was so fat. Myself, I believe in keeping my weight down within reason. I get plenty of food and don't have to hunt any more, but I still feel it best to be moderate in my habits. Then the Angora saw a workman in an attic room eating lunch. He thought he had found a solution to his hunger. There was a nice cutlet on the table. So let's see what did our cat do. Let's continue the next paragraph. At that, I leaped on the table and snatched the cutlet. But the workman had seen me first and gave me a terrific blow on the back with a broom. I dropped the cutlet and scurried away, cursing under my breath. See what happened? When the cat leaped on the table and snatched the cutlet, but the workman saw him and gave him such a blow with the broom that he dropped the cutlet and ran. See the next paragraph. What kind of an idiot are you? The old Tom asked. Food on a table is supposed to be admired only from a distance. What we have got to do is hunt in the gutters. The old Tom told him that food on the table was to be admired from a distance. These stray cats hunted for their food in gutters. They didn't steal it off tables. Let's move to the next paragraph. I have never understood why food in a kitchen is off limits to cats. My stomach had begun growling seriously. The Tom put the finishing touch to my despair by saying that we needed to wait until night, when we could go down into the street and scavenge in the garbage heaps. Wait until night, he said this calmly and philosophically. As for me, I was faint at the very thought of prolonging my fast even a moment more. Then the Tom said they would have to wait until dark to eat. Then they would go scavenging. Meanwhile, our hero felt weak from hunger. Moving to the next paragraph. The night came on slowly, a night of fog that made me rigid with cold. Soon it began to rain, a fine, penetrating downpour blown about by brisk gusts of wind. We descended by way of a glassed skylight over a stairway. How shabbily the street appeared! Here there was none of that pleasant heat of the sun, the roofs gleaming white where we had languished so deliciously. My paws slipped on the greasy pavement. I thought sadly of my 3 blankets and my comforter. No sooner were we in the street than my friend, the old Tom, began to tremble. He crouched down and crept craftily along the house wall, telling me to follow quickly behind him. Arriving at a doorway, he lost no time in hiding himself, simultaneously purring with satisfaction. When I asked him what was going on, he said, Did you see that man with the basket and the hook? Yes. Well, If he had seen us, we would have been caught and roasted on a spit. Roasted on a spit? I cried. The street is no place for us. You can't eat, but you can be eaten. So here the night came, bringing fog, rain, and cold. Down in the streets, it was not pleasant. Suddenly, the old Tom, trembling, crouched down and crept along the house wall. At a doorway, he hid himself, and our friend hid as well. Did you see that man with the basket and the hook? Yes. If he had seen us, we would have caught us and roasted us on a spit. Our hero exclaimed, "The street is no place for a cat. You can't eat, but you can be eaten." Children, can you imagine the people who eat cats? No. I don't think they eat cats in our part of the world. Thank goodness. However, there are other things here that might eat cat, like a wolf or even a dog. A dog probably would not eat cat, but if he has a cat hater, he could kill cat. These animals that run away do not realize how many dangers there are in the world. So let's move to the next paragraph, page number 24, last paragraph. Meanwhile, rubbish was being put out in front of doors. I rummaged through it hopelessly. Two or three skinny bones that had been dragged through ashes made me realize just how succulent fresh meat can be. My friend the Tom poured through the garbage with enormous artistry and made me do the same all the night long, examining every paving stone without the least sign of hurry. After nearly 10 hours of rain, I was shivering all over. Stupid street, useless liberty. How I missed my prison. Now the cats rummaged through the rubbish looking for something to eat. They searched through the rubbish all night. In the morning, the Enogora was shivering all over and realized he missed prison. It took him long enough to realize what a bad choice he had made. Freedom can be as much of a prison as a real jail. Moving to the next paragraph, that's page number 25. In the morning, the Tom, noticing my shaky state, asked in an odd voice, "Have you had enough?" "Oh, yes," I replied. "Do you want to go back home?" "I certainly do. But how can I find it?" "Come on. The morning I saw you come out, I knew that A fat cat like you is not cut out for the joys of liberty. I know where you live. I'll show you to the door. He said all this with simple dignity, and when we arrived at the house, he bade me adieu without the least show of emotion. So the old Tom said, "Have you had enough?" Much wiser now, the Angora said, "Oh, yes." The old Tom said he had shown him to this door, then told him goodbye, though the Angora offered to take the Tom into the house with him. The next paragraph. No, I cried. We cannot take leave of each other like this. Come with me. We shall share the same bed and the same food. My mistress is a wonderful woman. He didn't even let me finish. Shut up, he said brusquely. You are a fool. I had died in that warm softness. Your life of abundance is fine for spoiled cats. Free cats will never buy your ease and your comforter for the price of being imprisoned. Goodbye. He climbed back onto his rooftops. I saw his great thin shadow with pleasure at the chaoses of rising sun. So what happened now? The old Tom said he had shown him to his door, then told him goodbye. Though the Ancora offered to take the Tom into the house with him, the old cat said, Shut up, you are a fool. I had died in your warm softness. Your abundance is fine for spoiled cats. Free cats will never buy your ease and comfort for the price of being imprisoned. Goodbye. So the last paras. When I came home, your aunt gave me a punishment which I received with profound joy. I revelled in being punished and so comfortably warm. And while she cuffed me, I thought with delight of the meat she would give me directly afterwards. You see, an afterthought while stretched out before the emperor's true happiness, paradise, my master is where one is locked up and beaten wherever there is meat. I speak for cats. So now the Angora went home, took his punishment for running off, and thought of the fine snacks he had get. His master beat him, and he took a kind of pleasure in being warm and beaten at the same time. And the cat said to his master, The true happiness, the paradise, is to be locked up and beaten in a place where there is meat. He understood that the cat was so glad to be home that he didn't mind the beating he got. A beating mostly upsets and angers the cat, but does not cause him to repent his behavior. Even though he ran off, the Angora should not have been beaten. So here the writer he have written about this issue in one of his cat's behavior solution story. He guessed some cats just don't realize what an extreme decision it is to run away from home. It's too bad there isn't some form of cat council where cats help other cats to learn, in a way like the old Tom did for the Ancora. There is a saying, the grass often looks greener on the other side of the fence. Well, maybe so, especially if you're quite nearsighted, as cats often are. But it is still not necessarily a good idea to escape so you can find out. You may find yourself in a very bad situation. Let's see the difficult words: supple, soft and able to bend, ravishing, extremely beautiful, comrades, friends, perplexed, puzzled, scavenge, search for things that can be used or eaten from garbage, penetrating, strong, languished, to be forced to stay somewhere, roasted on a spit, cooked, rummaged, searched untidily and carelessly, succulent, juicy, brusquely, rudely, reveled, enjoy oneself in a lively manner. Afterthought, something that is thought or added later. Embers, burnt corn. I hope you like the story very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.